Album artwork. It's one of those things that signal to fans a lot about you, and it can become iconic t-shirts, posters, and other merch. You can start to see it everywhere, like as I walk down the street and have to think about Justin Bieber for some reason. But the problem with album art now is you have to make so much of it, since we have constant singles, carousels, Apple Music album motion, Tidal's version of that, and of course Spotify has their Canvas feature, and the big problem is all these things help promote your music and get it to go in the algorithm more, so you gotta do it. So it can be easy as a musician to think to yourself that the music business seems like a scheme to rob you of your money to do lots of tiny details to get your music heard. But alas, I actually have an answer of how you can do this affordably and easily with a tool that everybody loves. So by the end of this video, you'll understand how many of the top musicians, their teams transform album art and do this in a really easy way. Singles, album art, Spotify Canvas, reformatting for the Instagram grid. All this art kind of takes the art out of being an artist. Am I right or what? Thanks, I'll be here all week. And a lot of people are turning to sloppy online tools to do this when you really don't need to do that and can keep it classy. So I've been kind of obsessed lately in my life with taking away the time it takes to do the stuff that I don't want to do and doing more of the stuff that really matters. And according to both Spotify and Apple, when you have Apple Music Album Motion and Spotify Canvas, they push your song more, and most importantly, it's more ways to bring your artistic vision to life. Plus, animated artwork, when it's shared from Apple and Tidal, creates a 30% uptick in engagement in socials. But I know you, a lot of you are thinking,
bruh, I'm a musician, not an animator. You feel me? What am I doing with animation?
Well, the answer is you shouldn't be doing animation. And luckily, I have a great answer for you. Musixmatch Pro, who I'm thrilled to have sponsor this video, is a platform that for a really low rate makes really simple tools to solve musicians' problems. Previously, we talked about how they make the best tools the biggest musicians in the world use to get their lyrics on all the different websites for free. You know, like Spotify, Instagram, or in Google. But when you have a Musixmatch Pro plan, you can use Musixmatch Pro to create motion in your pre-existing album art or art you make with Musixmatch Pro, so that you can get it to be more engaging to your listeners. All current users even get one free animated artwork generation, and this is super important because we know a lot of your fans are engaging with Apple Music and Spotify especially, and Spotify keeps pushing their For You page, which if you don't have a canvas, they're really not going to push, which makes this all important. And it also makes it so that when a listener shares it on Instagram, it looks so much better. And we know from a recent survey I did that this is one of the main ways that people discover music is by seeing a friend recommended in their Instagram story. But I know you want to see how this works, and I have good news since Musixmatch Pro always has simple ways to use these interfaces to make something great.
All right, as you can see, we're at Musixmatch Pro. It's a nice, simple, easy system, and we can simply go in and choose an artist and start making either animated artwork or Spotify Canvas. I'm going to start with some animated artwork for Apple Music and Tidal. Let's do this. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to click animated artwork. We'll do the song Spinning. We're going to hit create. So as you can see here, it's animating the album art. And as you can see, the segue is this fade. If we do none, as you can see here, it'll have a totally different way that it loops the artwork and it just kind of goes back to the start again. I kind of prefer that. And then we have these textures. So no texture just keeps the album art the same as it was with this kind of pulsing zoom that has the light bulb in the middle animating, which I think is really cool. But then if we go over to this one, we get a little bit more grain. This one has more of film grain to it. This one's a little darker with a burn to it. I kind of like that a lot. This one, as we can see, has these bubbles. This is for more if you're doing something more light and pretty. Another film grain. This is more of a staticky TV. Now we got more of a burnt film look. And then this one is really, really animated. I can imagine for artwork that's more simple than this one, this could go really well for keeping people's eyes engaged and being able to really keep them engaged with the motion. So this was my favorite one, I think. So I'm going to hit finalize. And then it asks me if I want animated artwork in square or if I want portrait, which only works on Apple Music. But the animated artwork in the square works on both Apple Music and Tidal. Since that's way simpler, I'm going to use that. And I'm going to hit export. And then that'll be in my email in just a few minutes. So now let's make a Spotify canvas. This is super easy. We're We're going to go over here just like we did before and click Spotify Canvas and create. We're going to hit create on the song we want to do. And as we can see, there's one here with the album artwork already. We can hit create. Now, if you want to, you can upload your own album art. So if you upload that, or if you've used other assets before, you can use all this artwork they have pre-generated as well. There's AI generation if you want. After you have that, you can put all these different filters on it. So for example, you can choose certain colors to filter it with. I actually really like that, the way the purple looks on it. But this artwork is like very busy, but so I don't think we should go too crazy on it. But one of the things you can see here is that you can put in hex codes. You can add a palette if you like to shade things. So if like you're doing like a black and white picture or something and you just want to add something to it, you could easily do that. Then there's textures, particularly this bubble one will look good for some happy stuff. This is a lot of motion and I think is a little bit much for one with this much motion. So I don't think we need that. And then of course you could add graphics too. There's these waveforms, bubbles again. When you're happy, I don't think this really needs much of anything. It looks great on its own. You could go in, you could hit finalize, and then export, and it's going to email it to you. And then once you get the email, if you have it saved, there you have it. Looks great. Super high quality, and you can use this for plenty of other things like your Instagram story. As you can see on Spotify, if I play on the song, you can see it looks great up here. If I mouse over it, it becomes a little brighter since that's how Spotify's interface works, but looks great, light or dark. It really stands out. It's super cool. And as you can see here, the artwork for the motion art also looks great and is ready to get uploaded.
As you can see, it's super easy to do this. And remember, with Musixmatch Pro, you get so many great features for their low price. I find it especially nice since that once a release is ready to go before it's out, you can go into Musixmatch Pro and get so much of the work you need to do, like get your lyrics added for all the social media sites, do motion graphics for album covers, and Spotify canvases all in one place. So if you're interested in taking your album art and Spotify canvases to the next level, head over to Musixmatch Pro and include code Jesse15 to support the channel and get their current best deal for my viewers. So here's the thing, while you just learned this, if you really want to grow your fan base, you need to understand how to add your lyrics to your songs so they show up on Spotify and Instagram, which you can do with Musixmatch Pro. And that video is on the screen right now or in the description. So make sure you watch that next if you really want to level up. Thanks for watching.